Hey out there, sports fans. Thanks for checking us out. With me is going to be Ray. I'm, of course, Van. We're going to talk sports, so laid back atmosphere. Not going to be always structured, just going to be kind of our thoughts on what's happening recently in the world of sports. Thanks for tuning in. So we greatly appreciate it. Have a good time and enjoy the show.
Let's start. All right. So this is your guy Van. With me, I have Ray sitting next to me here. He's a well-known sports guy around the area. That's
I
a big
don't know
lie.
about that. That's
I
probably a big lie.
I like it. I like the way it sounded. He likes Miami, so we'll hold that against him also. Right. So we just coming up right now. Super Bowl's coming up, and the Super Bowl just happened a couple weeks back. But right now we have the XFL being talked about again by McMahon. So.
Well,
He's easing into that. What do you think about that?
It'll be interesting. I mean, obviously he fired into it the first time around, and there was a lot of fanfare. And I think actually the ratings on it for the first week were decent. And then it, as it became more of a spectacle with the wrestling, a lot of things like that.
Yeah, it was what we all kind of thought it might be eventually. It was fake football. It was more of the. Not really sportsmanship, but kind of gamesmanship without the real product.
Well, don't tell that to Tommy Maddox or any Pittsburgh Steelers fan that Tommy Maddox played for because he won the championship.
He came in and played some good years.
He resurrected his guy. He had some serviceable years
before he got injured, and they said, "Oh well, lucky us, go get in there, Ben."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
prepare for that, but
I mean, we'll see. I think they're going to be playing to a crowd of people that are, disenfranchised with the NFL due to the situations with the kneeling in the military and all that whole, situation.
2 signs that you get.
Yeah, and I really think that might be, and I don't think that's enough of a crowd. So you better have some good football.
I don't think so either.
to come around. Otherwise, it could end up being like LeVar Ball trying to start up, his own league and basically take the high school seniors and get them to play.
LeVar Ball?
Get them to play for $3,000 or $5,000.
Your kids waste your career playing for me. But
you better hope that you make it to the NBA because you won't have any chance of going to college.
You get some. Well, like the XFL, if they do ease into it, they get some good backers. People were saying, you just can't do it. I think you can be competitive. I think the NFL Europe existed for a while.
Yeah.
It filled a void.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only way really, I think they have to have a presentation. It has to be a real presentation. They cannot say, hey, we're competing with the NFL right away. I don't think that would work. I think they have to say, we are maybe a minor league. So, not saying it, but saying, hey, if we want to develop our players, and then here you go, NFL, or some of the players that, come back. Because, think about we just saw Case Keenum.
Yeah.
Case Keenum, after 7 years of bouncing around the league and had a good. I'm not saying he's, next Kurt Warner.
But he had a serviceable year for the Vikings when they lost Bradford. And obviously, believe it would have a better year than Bradford would have had if he would have stayed.
How many teams would have taken that? From their starting quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah, no, there's a lot of teams.
There are Browns fans that have been waiting 16 years for that.
There's Miami Dolphins fans waiting since Dan Marino for that. It's certainly, it could, there is an area where I would think that like a minor league type football system, like kind of they had.
I'd like to see that because Seahawks.
What about a guy like Lamar Jackson, who's going to be drafted in the first round? Is Lamar Jackson ready to take on NFL defenses? We saw that he had 4 interceptions in his bowl game against Mississippi State.
And who's well-coached defense?
Well coached. Dan Mullen, did a pretty good job there. Now we'll see what he can do at Florida. But a guy like him, to get him playing, football instead of maybe just sitting back, and
making plays,
and you're holding the clipboard for somebody, because I don't think Lamar Jackson's ready to come in and start, You know,
God.
especially where he's gonna get
Well,
drafted in like the 15 range is where
Yeah,
they're saying.
they were saying 15,
You know,
15, 25 is the sweet dial number.
and if you look at the teams in that ballpark, you know, there's probably a few that you know could use a guy that would step in right away. But I just don't think he's capable.
Trade back into the first round.
Yeah.
That area. I think there are a lot of quarterbacks that could use this year sitting on this. I love the kid out of Wyoming.
Oh, Josh Allen.
Yeah, I had seen some film on him, and
he's got a big arm.
He looked great sometimes. He looked
Yeah.
a lot better last year. He looked a lot better.
He did,
Sophomore, junior, whatever it was.
Yeah.
He's a junior this year.
He's a redshirt junior.
Redshirt junior.
So he
So
could
he's
have.
redshirt
He
sophomore.
could. Yeah, he could have came back.
But that bowl game, that senior bowl game, I watched that after, and he played horrible first half, and he knew it. He came back the second half. Tom Brady him down the field and scored. And the touchdown pass was a nice touch pass. Everyone's saying, "Oh, you can't." It's a rocket every time.
Yeah.
It was a nice, beautiful lob.
Yeah, I mean, and I heard, you know, I have a client of mine whose son plays on the offensive line for Wyoming, and they said that this year, granted, I haven't, you know, been well attuned into Wyoming college football.
They've had some prospects lately. Back last year was the draft, and he's playing.
I like their coach, you know, and stuff. He's done a pretty good job for him. Did a pretty good job at North Dakota, you know, before he, you know, showed up at Wyoming and assistant at Nebraska for a long time. They should have went with him instead of maybe a few that they gave. But who knows, you know. But he does, you know. I believe that what they were telling me was that his wide receivers this year were a lot less reliable than he had.
He lost two got drafted. One or two.
I know one of them did.
Drafted. Hill got drafted.
Yeah.
Like the fourth or fifth round.
Yeah.
And he looks like a good back. Service ball anyway.
Yeah.
And
so he had less weapons this year, you know, a little bit. Than
lot.
you know, and it makes a difference when you're at Wyoming compared to Alabama, and there could be some. If you lose some weapons, some younger weapons are going to step into that fill that void.
You're not going to have a 4-star coming right in to replace the 4-star.
Yeah, so not usually at Wyoming and Laramie.
We got this 1-star.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you know, Ed Reed was one of my favorite football players, definitely. But my favorite Miami Hurricane of all time was didn't have any stars.
Really?
Ranked out of
Yep.
Out of Destrehan, Louisiana. Yeah.
I did not know that.
One of the greatest safeties ever to do it.
Time,
ever to do it by far.
You know. And you know he was true to his team, Thomas. You hear that?
Yeah.
All right. So I like to see Allen sit for you. I think the kid has amazing physical talents.
Yeah.
Going back to Lamar Jackson. I mean, I've heard comparisons, legit comparisons. People were saying to Michael Vick.
Well, I mean, I think he has that capability, but it seems to me like I mean, from what I've seen, even mechanics wise and I don't think he's as an advanced passer as even Michael Vick was at this stage.
Wow, that's
not, you know, I mean,
Vick had 1.5 speeds of throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Rocket arm or rocket arm deep, which sometimes got air under it. So.
Yeah.
But how's the kid's mental makeup? Because people have gone on record saying, people have coached Vic. He had little or no cares about being coached when he came out.
Well, that could be. I mean, he was a superstar his whole life growing up in Virginia.
Right.
You know.
So, have you heard about how Lamar's?
I never heard anything. Following the ACC a little bit, I didn't really hear any bad things out of Louisville. I mean, Bobby Petrino had nothing good things to say about him. But
it's Bobby Petrino. So.
But I think he tried to do as much as he can. I think that he kind of got exposed a little bit against the better defenses that he's faced.
They tried to take away what he can do. What he's comfortable, and that's going to happen.
And obviously in the NFL, that's going to happen even at a more magnified level. So he can make some plays with his legs. If you threw him out there today, even with the Browns, he's going to bust off some big runs with his legs. That's inevitable. He's that good of an athlete. But getting him to read those defenses, make those third down conversion passes, is it going to happen at a respectable clip? Now, granted, the Browns are so bad, you probably throw him in there, and it's still going to be a nice improvement over what. Yeah. At least you'd have some semblance of
Yes.
hope, and maybe you could help
Excitement.
out my boy Duke Johnson out there and
Duke,
get him some wins.
Man.
Yeah.
Hey, if they can actually get a passing threat, he might actually become.
If he ever gets out of there, if he was playing for Tom Brady right now, that would I think would be a very nice offense.
If I was playing for Tom Brady right now,
Well, yeah,
I
you
might
get-
put 100 receivers right here.
But I mean, I think utilizing him in the slot and that type of spread
Motion
offense,
slots,
yeah,
I mean, Duke can still run the ball, but how
just
much room is
not
like
as much
his-
between the tackles.
his interior is not. They are strong. They have a couple of nice.
Yeah,
guys there.
I mean, I think he's done pretty well for Cleveland. I mean, it's
Yeah,
Cleveland.
it's Cleveland.
And
I mean-
one of these days, look at Jacksonville. They were Jacksonville for a long time, and some misses definitely in
Up
the
and
draft,
down,
some
and
misses, some
down,
free agent misses, and now they've
bad misses
made
before
some
nice.
better free agent signings. And
Play
then,
as Campbell. As much as I hate to
we
say
just
it,
keep saying
as
University
much
of
as I hate to
Miami.
say it, this
That-
play as Campbell when he was coming out, I was like, no, I
Denver,
liked
Colorado.
Arizona.
He's a Denver kid.
Yeah.
So
but you went to Arizona, dropped by Arizona, second round.
yeah,
And they had him and that
Darnell
Florida,
Dockett.
Florida State guy,
Yeah.
which is probably why he's any good.
yeah.
He learned from Darnell. No, I'm joking. They're both horrible. But Shula, wasn't it Shula that was with Cam Newton when he came out wasn't he his offense coordinator?
You mean his offensive coordinator like at Auburn or
No,
at Carolina? Has Shula been there this whole time?
Yeah.
I think maybe he
Yeah.
has. Yeah.
They were talking about when they were playing with Newton, it's like Newton has an accurate arm, but as far as reading and versus an athlete, he wanted to run the whole time. He's not gonna have so they were talking about how they would do the 1-2 read,
Yeah.
the over under read or whatever else, and make it simple, and then you make a play, kid.
Yeah,
And it worked
but
for him.
Lamar
It worked.
Jackson too isn't as physically
Isn't
intimidating as
he-
Cam
He's
Newton.
not
I mean, look at Cam. I mean, he's already talking. He gets roughed up, and
Yeah,
he gets
intense.
and he comes out and says that sometimes he's getting
Now
too roughed up. Yeah.
Now it's taking its toll on him.
Well, exactly. Yeah, you start getting older, so I mean, it'd be better for
Still
Lamar
young.
Jackson if that the throwing game situation works out more for him. And
Yeah, I'd like to see him. You don't get it anymore, but I'd love to see him sit for maybe 2 years. And the only way he's doing that is if he's a third rounder. At least.
that's where that alternate league could have came into play.
Yeah.
But the only thing,
That-
there's a lot of things obviously you'd have to work out, and one of the things you'd have to work out that's pretty glaring
And
would
they-
be if you get
a
hurt.
contract.
What if you get hurt
Yeah.
for the farm team
What
and all
is-
that? And
what
you're,
is-
you
when
know,
you get back to the NFL, the big boys
are they going to compensate you with some sort of
And
draft
there
pick?
have to be, there
You
have
know,
to be something.
yeah, because they're not going to want to. I mean, granted, they do want to see some of their guys develop and probably get to see them get reps. I mean, live. I mean, nothing's going to simulate a live rep in a game,
No.
regardless if it's
No.
a minor league versus
Yeah.
a major league. But still, you'd have some guys in there that have NFL experience, some guys that have
And
played.
those smaller leagues, and they've proven to put out something for the NFL. I mean, Kurt Warner from
Oh, yeah.
the AFL,
Yeah, there's been a lot of guys over the years.
Guys still coming, even defensive players are coming from the Canadian Football League.
Well, I mean, Cameron Wake for the Dolphins.
Cameron
I
Wake.
mean, that's a prime example of.
When Penn State, wasn't he?
Penn State.
Penn State one day went up.
Yep.
But he was a small.
He was the
rush-head. He was-
defensive player of the year for Canada for a couple
couple
years, and
years.
then
Heck of a football. He grew into a body. He
Yeah.
worked out,
Yeah.
grew up.
and yeah, I mean he's a beast. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
for
yeah.
his age, he's still playing pretty
still-
decently well for
There's
blowing out
There's a lot of
Achilles.
guys you wish produced that and
Yeah.
played that hard at that
And-
age. So
So we'll see on that. But yeah, no, I mean I think there's a place for it. Will Vince McMahon not screw that up,
Screw it up.
and have it be
did not burn
You
too
know,
many bridges last time.
bringing out
And it's still we're still in talks. Like it's not even a real thing yet, is it?
I think it's a very serious. I mean,
Is it
he
real?
cashed
Okay.
in a lot. I
Oh.
mean, he's not.
Well, I know he's talking.
The wrestling isn't funding it this time. He's basically cashed out a bunch of stock and it started like a pseudo entertainment company
Okay.
that this is supposed to fall under that umbrella. So
That's
obviously
already more of a, that's when he's doing it off of your not he's not out,
he's
not
had a lot of
conjunction with
success
the-
streaming with the WWE network.
yeah.
They're thinking about trying to incorporate that into the league as far as last time it was a partnership with NBC.
Yeah.
Ebersol at NBC and him had this combined
Right.
idea, what they were going to do.
And back in the 80s that could work.
Yeah, I
Now
mean,
when they tried it in what was it was it 2004?
Oh, around that ball,
2002?
somewhere in that ballpark.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
So, just I mean, it can work. I think it can work. I mean, well, iterations of it have worked. I mean, the World League didn't work, but we have Canadian football still. That's been going for what?
Canadian and then Arena. I mean, it's
Arena's
been
been
going for a
going
little
for
while now. I mean, I
20
remember when
plus
it
years.
very first came
Yeah,
out.
back in the late 90s or
the
mid-90s.
ball's going to bounce off of the
Yeah.
net, and you're going to be able to return it.
You
You don't see it ever happen.
No. It's still fun to take in every once in a while when you catch a game.
No, it is.
It's
It's something good for the family that the
If-
family can afford
yeah,
because the
they-
prices of games
Exactly. If there was one, I mean, do we have a Denver? Do we have a Denver one?
now. No, they've had Arena. I don't know
Well,
if they
they have
currently
right
have a
now.
franchise, but they
Yeah.
they have.
See, that'd be something you'd be interested. Why not? You're in Denver.
Tickets might be $10,
$10,
$15
yeah.
instead
You
of
know, they're affordable.
$300, $400 a
Those
piece
bleachers.
to sit up in the
Yeah.
way high bleachers, and that where you're better off just watching it at home.
Yep. Yep.
So
I think there's a definite demand there, but
we'll see. I mean, if it works for them, great. If
people
it
were saying one last thing I want to touch on before we move on to the Senior Bowl, but people are saying you don't have enough players to fill out a roster. I don't think that's exactly accurate because you find players you can find players.
The
all over.
Dolphins have a couple of young offensive linemen. This Jesse Davis kid and another guy that they really. Them two guys I think would be the type of a pity, maybe like some young offensive linemen.
That's one thing I think the NFL would want alone for it alone is because the offensive linemen come out of college.
Exactly.
Spread offenses, you're not getting, and they're horrible.
Yeah.
They're not getting coached technique at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
It's a different breed of lineman,
It is.
that's
And you're getting
taking on a very aggressive pit bull
Yeah.
defensive
I mean,
line group.
Nate Solder for Patriots, he's going to be a free agency this year.
Okay.
And
Is he Colorado?
Colorado kid.
Yeah.
Colorado kid.
Yeah.
And but some games, I was listening to kind of sports pro guys that do the ratings and some games he was a turnstile, man. Like he is damn near got Tom Brady killed in the Super Bowl last year in the first half. So.
Yeah. It's almost
He's
it's hard to
gonna
get that
cash
good
in,
that
but
good
he's going
line.
to cash in because he's one of the top tier left tackles right now.
Yeah. I mean, look, what the Seahawks got Jokel, right?
Yeah.
And Jokel was
the second
the
overall
number 2 pick in the
Yeah.
draft, and the
Yeah.
kid that went above him,
Fisher went to Kansas City.
he went to now he's had a pretty decent.
He's solid.
Yeah.
They played him mostly on the right side, haven't they? Did they move him to the left side last 2 years? I think.
Yeah, I
They
think
moved him to the
yeah,
left side finally.
yeah.
But it's like first 3 years or 4 years, he was at the right side.
And I remember it was a real debate between
If he
Fisher came for what was a MAC school, right?
Yeah.
And that's so obviously
Fisher was out of Central Michigan, I think.
that I'd have to check on because I can't remember.
I think it was Central Michigan or
Bowling Green, maybe.
might have been.
Nah,
it was
I don't know.
it was one of those Central.
Yeah,
schools.
one of those schools. But Jokel obviously had a Texas A&M, big,
And Texas A&M was the only school for a long time putting out. Like I was like, oh my god, what's this?
A&M's
Left tackle you for a while.
Yeah,
you know?
A&M's
But
put
you
out
have
some linemen.
But even the Matthews boy has not. He's been solid.
Yeah,
The one
it
that
seems
went
like
to
A&M's put out bigger, more numbers certainly of offensive
Like
linemen than
Seattle.
Alabama has. And when
Yeah.
I think of Alabama football, I think of a big bruising running back
Yep.
behind a very good offensive line.
Heavy run.
A heavy dose of the
Yep.
run. And so it kind of makes you wonder that A&M's definitely put out more named offensive
Better.
linemen than I can think of Alabama
Well,
doing.
we're considered a better prospect coming out.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah. But yeah, I think just for that reason alone, I think the NFL should look in trying to get some sort of minor league going on or something going on with maybe not the this XFL is coming out or something else, but it's a
Maybe
good
some
reason.
other-
It's a good reason for them to look at.
yeah, I mean, a lot of the other sports leagues have it. Obviously you're in the minor leagues of hockey, minor leagues of baseball. Obviously that's just a stepping stone. Has been around forever.
It's been it's part of the
Basketball now does have their D league
You got
affiliates.
players coming from that. You
Yeah.
got players
And they have certain rules of the signing a player and having them on the D League and stuff. Yeah,
Back up. So
and yeah, it could
yeah,
work.
it'd be smart, I think.
And if the kids would be willing to say, I mean, I know if you're bouncing between a team, like say Brad Kaya, like I said, the example of bouncing between 3 different teams in a
Yeah.
year. I'm not sure what type of compensation they're getting. Are they getting rookie level deals at a certain number paid out by 3 different teams in a
Right.
year, you know, or is it even less? I know on the practice squad you only make so
It's-
much, you know, so much money.
Yeah.
So I think that's
100
probably what he was on.
100, you know,
Maybe this type of league, the compensation, the minor leagues could be a little more,
maybe
at least a little more,
Yeah.
you know, which
Well-
would help mitigate.
Well, the higher
Are you going to
the
get
more,
hurt?
The more prestigious players. I mean, if you get a
Yeah.
prestigious player going there, like like the World League did, they signed who was it,
Yeah.
Walker and those guys.
Johnny Manziel. He's ready to go back.
He's ready.
He's ready, but McMahon said no,
Yeah.
no criminal.
was- yeah.
That eliminates a few
John-
players right
yeah,
there. No,
yeah.
no
Which
criminal
is-
charges.
Which is almost like, dare I say, like the Johnny Manziel. It's almost too bad because I mean, I don't think he could ever be who knows.
If he would've took it
beat the Alabama
serious.
team with half a team that played pro ball.
No, I
Twice.
He did very well.
The kid
against
can't throw.
Alabama.
I don't think he's not going to be. I mean, he's not. He doesn't have all the physical tools, but he can throw and he can run. So
He kind of is Baker Mayfield, except Baker Mayfield has a little bit
More
more,
accurate.
of the physical. I mean, I think he has a better arm, and I think he's. Well, I would say on par as an athlete.
Let's go.
I mean, Menzel was a good athlete.
Menzel was a
Great-
better
great.
athlete because he actually ran. What was he like? He ran a
He,
4.6.
yeah, so the running
4.5.
would have been a little bit more.
Well, he
with
ran a
Menzel.
4.5 something. 4.57, I think it was.
The head, I mean, I still think Manziel's even way more a head case than Mayfield's
Whoa.
had his little share
Maybe
of
it's
this
those
and
those
that.
little white boys that run around a lot. They have a little head case. They would hit teams
Yeah,
having
yeah,
around or
yeah.
something.
So, but I mean, Johnny Football's parents were loaded, and
yeah.
so he
I
knew
mean,
in life, even if he's
he was
not,
good.
he's
Yeah,
gonna
he was
be
good.
okay.
Yeah, he's like,
I mean, his dad's a big oil guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll never.
when that money.
Yeah,
I mean, we
he'll
all
never
know.
be working at the the night shift at
He's
the
never
loading
gonna-
docks.
yeah.
Making $12 an
7-Eleven,
hour.
he's never gonna-
Yeah.
no.
So that makes a difference
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
All
All right, let's use that to go ahead and transition to the Senior Bowl with the old Baker.
well, I
He
mean,
played pretty damn. Like I honestly, I have not had a chance to. I'm gonna watch some film on him tonight, tomorrow. But so what do you think? Have you caught anything of him?
I've watched quite a few of his games of the year, and I mean I really do think he can end up being a pretty decent
Yeah.
NFL
Well, a lot
quarterback.
of
I don't
people
think he's
compare
going to be
him
a bust.
Yeah, a lot of people compare him to Drew Brees. They just I know I guess he's pretty short. Like
He is. He is.
6'2".
He is
Some
short.
people would think he's coming in about 5'11" and a half.
He probably could be once they get him
Yeah.
there, at the combine and get him all
I
measured
hear
up.
I don't know if he skipped the measurements at the Senior Bowl day or what, but things have been different too. Like guys who are shorter at Senior Bowl day measure taller sometimes.
Yeah,
and
so
longer
it's
wingspans.
I think he'll end up being a serviceable NFL quarterback. Would I take him? That there's people that obviously the Dolphins might take a quarterback, and even though they
What do you
have
think about
Tannehill, I think they should definitely give Tannehill one more year and then start thinking quarterback next year.
Well,
Not
how's
waste
it-
quarterback this year. Now, granted, every offensive lineman they
Would you-
draft's about pretty much a bust.
Well, there's a lot of there's a Leota guy out of Richmond, I guess. He looked great.
And he's a guy you might be able
He's
to.
moved up. Would you think about drafting him in the third round?
I would
Dolphins?
agree upon that. Yeah, no, we need a backup. Matt Moore's
Someone
gone.
to push, yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
Moore was a heck of a backup, man. Like that's one guy. He's a nice kind of
long. I mean, that was a long stint as the backup. I mean, he's
you
he's
don't
a
want-
Don
you don't
Strock.
want- You don't want Matt Moore there that long.
So he's a serviceable backup.
But
I would take if I'm the Dolphins. I address some of their needs and their need if they say and they really do believe that Tannehill can come back and continue to grow under Adam Gase, kind of
Yeah. Well, he started looking like he was doing something.
I mean, his percentage on his deep balls went up where he's gonna be. That was one of the knocks on Tannehill, especially his first few years,
Just
was
throwing them way up
completing completing the deep ball, and it still almost
Who-
seems that he doesn't complete enough. But if you look at his numbers, from not last year, but the season before, his last healthy year before he got knocked out. He was up there, right up in the rankings.
Yeah, I know.
Of the deep ball percentage.
He looked a lot better.
But in the games, I'm trying to think of some of the games during that stretch. It's like, God, I can't remember too many Tannehill strikes, that were going on. But apparently they happened, and that. So
but hey,
but anyway, yeah.
Throwing too deep. Who was? I mean,
well,
like,
I mean,
like Laundry, but Laundry's the hook guy, the
Kenny
guy.
Stills. I mean, Stills is a guy that's got some speed,
Well,
and I mean, Devontae Parker was supposed to be a guy that had it all,
No.
and is just a guy that can't stay off of being injured. And then I think I don't know about the whole. I don't know. I don't know if it's a work ethic or a head thing, but it's not. It's not. He's in the lot going into the last year of his rookie deal, and that'll be probably the last of Devontae Parker.
He's not gonna.
And he's going to have an opportunity if Jarvis Landry's let go, which it really looks like he will. After I thought there'd be no way that'll happen, I think he'll be a free agent.
Do you think so?
I don't think they're going to pony up the money that he wants.
That's one thing. Well, he's Landry's good. He's got a certain game, but he's not
got a
for
certain
every
game.
Offense.
Yeah,
it's not for every offense.
It's a guy that doesn't catch a lot of touchdown passes. I mean, he does not catch. He might catch the most balls out of anyone, and he might average 9 yards of reception.
He's a nice tool guy. He makes guys miss,
and
he returns some kicks.
He plays with heart. I mean, he's gonna give you he's kind of like a Marshawn Lynch guy at the wide receiver position. He's gonna make you tackle him. He is not going out of bounds. No. He's gonna lay his shoulder into you. He's gonna make you. And there's times he breaks tackles that way and gets a few extra yards. So, but if he wants Antonio Brown type money, I say,
let him go.
See you later, Jarvis.
You can't. That's
because he's not Antonio Brown talent, and so.
And even Antonio Brown, he's just a special player because his numbers. If you look at it, he's small. Yeah. Antonio Brown is 5'10". Yeah. Not even 190.
Yep.
His combine numbers. He was a 4'6" guy.
Yep.
His shuttle wasn't even that impressive. Nothing was impressive. Nothing said this guy's going to blow up the league.
He's a football player, though, and that's really he's one of those guys.
Those catches he made against some of the great defensive backs that Jaguars have.
He doesn't have the all of the physical skills.
No, his mental awareness, just the key that he has up in his head.
Exactly. I mean,
he's one of those guys that it slows down for him all the time.
Yeah. It's been a good pickup for the Steelers for sure.
And they still have those runs. They've been getting all these receivers after the first round. I mean, I think Schuster was a second round guy.
That Juju Schuster-Smith out of USC. No, I think I can't remember exactly what round. I don't think it was first.
No, it wasn't first.
Yeah,
but these guys have been producing for them. And
I mean, he was a star at USC. He came out early, Smith. But I mean, I think he's one of those guys that if he ever gets down the route running and the things, those nuances, that if you can do that, he'll be good. And if he doesn't, he'll survive off the physical talent like some of the other USC wide receivers, but won't even come close to sticking around the league. Well, I mean, look at all the USC wide receivers that went in the draft.
Well, there's a couple of the Smith kids. They were Steve Smith. He blew out his knee eventually.
Yeah,
he was solid. And doesn't Jacksonville have? That Jacksonville had a receiver. Was it Buffalo drafted one of those guys in the second?
Well,
round?
they had I mean, going back to like Mike Williams and that the guys off of that team.
He had a comeback year with Seattle.
Dwayne Jarrett, another bust.
Yeah, second round bust. But Mike. I mean, we do too. Mike Williams, freaking college ball. I mean, he was making one-handed catches.
Oh
he was making kids look like.
So was Dwayne Jarrett. And that I believe he was the East Coast kid out of Jersey.
Yeah, he was.
And
Jersey went to.
It just didn't. Those guys couldn't get open in the NFL. It was the problem too. I mean,
freaking what's his name? Blew up to when he came to the Seahawks, he was still 260. He blew up to like 280.
Oh yeah.
Williams did.
Yeah.
With the Raiders. I was
like, that's always been my opinion of one of the when I think of a college team that won the national championship,
Oh,
USC blowing out
extreme talent.
Oklahoma and then losing in that nail-biter to Vince Young in Texas the year after. But when you look at the guys that actually produced in the NFL, out of all that blue chip talent for USC, not a lot, not a whole. Clay Matthews, like you said, and he was a guy that wasn't even playing hardly. At that
well,
time.
he was playing a lot of different schemes, like small schemes, like sub packages for.
Yeah, that's basically it. Wasn't starting, wasn't even the number 2 guy.
Keith Rivers was never an all-pro linebacker.
No. Then you look at the running backs. I mean,
yeah.
Bush, serviceable career.
Yeah, he could have been. He had some plays for him, especially when he was with the Saints early on.
Yeah.
Receiver wise, more or less, though. He was a big time receiver. Actually, he gave Breeze a real safety net.
Yeah.
In some
But
packages,
and then LaNdale White.
White was only just
got too fat.
He got too fat. Yeah, I mean, he came into Seattle.
Their tight end was highly rated. I can't remember. It was maybe Dominique Byrd. I think.
Byrd was. There's a lot. They had a lot.
Oh, they had a lot of guys
blue chip
on that teams. Whatever happened to the safety, the big giant safety they had? That he was young. Then on those teams,
freakish athlete.
But
what was the head case, right?
Yeah. I can't remember his name now. But
ran that in like 4.140.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Bo Jackson time.
Yeah, they had a lot of guys on that team.
They were all
a lot of guys.
They all couldn't make it mentally in the pros.
Yeah, and not a lot of them, made it.
I mean, even Matt, what was the old quarterback there?
Oh, Leinart. I mean, that was
he had
a bust.
He had a couple of games that showed like he could play, but he was soft, man.
Yeah.
He didn't have it.
He
could probably throw the ball, but he just didn't have
he's
the rest of it.
better behind the desk, and being on the broadcast.
Commercials.
Yeah. So, yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But moving back to Baker Mayfield. So you've seen him. You think he's worth a first round pick?
I don't know if I take him in the first round. I think he'd be more of a value in that second round, but I believe he's going to go in the first round.
Shit, yeah, a lot more. I mean, Drew Brees is a lot more of a value in the second round, too.
It comes down to really, some of those teams' needs that might have the need at the quarterback position, but also have some other glaring needs that could be addressed. I mean, do you take the first round guy that's going to be, probably sitting, not contributing next year,
right?
And hope that he's that next guy.
The kid out of, he plays for the Chiefs now, but the big quarterback with the huge arm and athletic kid out of
the Texas Tech kid?
Yeah, Texas kid.
The Harrell, isn't it? Graham Harrell, isn't he the...
Oh, yeah. I was talking about the kid the Chiefs drafted last year, moved up, traded some picks to move up in great draft.
Oh,
Mahone or
Pat Mahomes.
Pat
Mahomes. He's the guy. No, he's the guy for Texas Tech, not Graham Harrell. Pat Mahomes. He's going to be the guy that starts for Kansas City now that Alex Smith's been traded.
But so they moved up. They traded draft picks and moved up and grabbed him after what? Because I know Houston did the same thing with Watson.
With Deshaun, yeah.
Who I love. Once again, if you can beat Alabama teams. I know he played.
I really liked Watson.
I liked him too. A lot of people say he was too small.
Yeah,
when you beat a saving team twice, and he played great. I mean, he looked like a pro. He was not running a pro offense, but he looked like a pro out there. I loved him in the draft, and he got moved up. But you got guys that you would pass on the first round, right? What about teams that have been moving up, and it's been happening a lot lately, moving up into the 20s or late teens?
Yeah,
you can see that happening this year.
Well, I could see the Patriots maybe definitely taking a quarterback late in the first round. Because,
you think Belichick's going to be around after the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I don't think. I think that's all. I mean, the report I read the report on ESPN about all the the behind the scenes with Brady's trainer and all that stuff, and how there's kind of bad blood between that whole camp and faction. But I think it's all. I'm sure some of it is true.
I think
I don't think it's all BS made up by ESPN and their sources, but I do believe it's not as quantified. I mean, professionals at that level, especially a guy like Belichick, who always can make. Over the years, he's never held on to baggage. He's always got rid of guys at the right time when they're getting ready to break down, not contribute. Maybe they're looking. It's a time when another contract's coming. And he makes the perfect decisions a lot of the time. Decisions of guys that fit their system the way they play, and that's why one of the reasons why they've been successful for so long. I really think that Belichick wanted to trade Jimmy Garoppolo for less than they could have actually got last year trading for Garoppolo.
It was first-round picks being offered.
First-round pick they could have definitely got for Garoppolo last year. Now they're not, you know.
Still a high second. Well, yeah, it's a high second.
Yeah, it'll still
Which
be a
he
good.
didn't help. They were going to get a higher one.
You know,
now wasn't there and wins 5 games.
If a guy like Baker Mayfield drops to the second round, he gets picked up by the Patriots, and boom, he's the next heir apparent to Tom Brady.
I should have. Why not? You know, he's a very accurate guy. He's got.
You know,
if you give him a little bit of something,
but they have to know that, you know, at some point, you know, that they're going to be drafting somebody else. I mean, so that's what they made it sound like a Brady said, "Oh, Garoppolo's got to go," and they're going to bring in John Kitna as the backup, and you know he's going to be the guy. You know, yeah. Well, he did back up a lot of games. We'll say that much.
You know,
Kitna had his moments here and there.
I believe he had a good winning streak of 8, before they fell apart.
You
Carson took over the next year.
Well, God, he's quarterbacked a few teams, too, and he's been around the league a little bit.
After Central Washington guys right there.
Yeah.
That's right. But, you're right. And Garoppolo was a second-round pick, too, so they have no problem spending that high of a pick.
Yeah, and you know it's going to be another person that's going to be groomed, but this particular person draft pick that they're going to go with is going to be more closer to the type, and I think Tom Brady's going to be leaving the NFL.
What, Garoppolo, this is 4th year right now?
Yeah.
3rd year?
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark, 3rd. Yeah.
You
know, and so that I'd have to check on, but definitely a guy that's ready.
Yeah.
You know, and played pretty decently for the Niners.
Yeah,
it is the end. I want to see it at the
you want to see it the whole season.
Yeah, when it's that glimpse of the end of the season, especially when you're playing some other teams that aren't making the playoffs.
You're not getting the best.
Yeah, you're not getting the good gauge.
Absolutely.
Now,
But some of the plays he was making though, like that freaking underhanded.
Yeah.
Those are just.
Oh, he's a guy that I think it was a very good move for the Niners. I think the Niners needed a quarterback, and they think that they have their quarterback now.
And they have a coach, and they have 4 first-rounders.
Yeah, a ton of picks. Them and the Browns, another ton of picks. Between those two teams, they'll be.
The Browns have a lot of young talent right now on the team.
They do.
The offensive line, the 2 guards are good. The center's young.
They have some guys.
Nice.
Yeah, they have a few guys. That could really. I mean, it's just the quarterbacks will never. What's going to happen at the wide receiver with Gordon? Is Gordon going to still stick around this league now?
Monster that he could
and he could be.
Is that kid going to break out? They drafted out Baylor ever. $11, 5'10" kid. They drafted out Baylor a couple years back.
Yeah,
he had all the ability. Man, he looked like a can't miss prospect.
Yeah, and it's.
You don't know if it's quarterback. You don't know if it's.
Well, especially with quarterback. I mean, the Browns have no quarterback.
Receivers are just about as bad as the NFL linemen nowadays with the routes they get in college and the offense you have in college.
It's
different. This zone, you don't have to go learn.
Yeah.
Routes are route trees or offensive route trees.
Being able to get open.
You know,
be a Michael Irvin. Yeah. Be a guy that can get open. He
means a Brian Blake.
Yeah. I was going to say, he's from Miami too, Brian and Benny.
He means a Steve Largent.
And then let me at least throw in about
Doug Baldwin,
the next generation of Blades, which will be he's already signed, but he's
they have a new one.
Al Blades Jr. He's a 4-star defensive back at St. Thomas.
This is Al, the linebacker
this is the Miami player that got killed. He would have been the uncle of Benny and Brian Blades that played in the NFL.
Who was the linebacker that played for Washington for a few years?
That was Al Blades Sr.
Okay, so this is his boy.
Yeah, this is his son.
Okay. So,
yes.
What does he play?
He's a defensive back. He's a cornerback. Yeah. St. Thomas Aquinas, one of the best, programs out there,
Well, UW has that new defensive backs.
Yeah.
Going in there right now, I think he missed the boat. Obviously, he made the wrong choice, but
yeah.
I'll give him for that.
Not that, but we'll
could have kept the Blades going to the good old Northwest, but
Yeah,
It could be.
maybe when he gets out in the pros.
Maybe we get that. There you go.
He sticks
There you go.
around in
Miami
college.
to Seattle, Cortez Kennedy, the Blazers.
Yeah,
You know, why not?
Seattle's had a few good Miami guys, you know.
Well, they got good when we got to Seattle, I think as well.
Yeah, Cortez Kennedy, he was that
One of
good.
the best.
Yeah. Randy Shannon used to have to chain himself
Yes.
to the refrigerator to keep
Yes.
him out of the eating in
Well,
the refrigerator.
Brown, rest his soul,
Jerome Brown.
had to. Everyone was worried about what would happen to Tez, because they were so close.
Yeah.
For one, and because he used half of the reason Tez ended up in the first round besides Shannon.
Yeah.
And the guys, because he push him, the big brother thing.
Yeah.
And got him to the first round. Oh, that's man.
Yeah, he was
That
a
deep line was something.
He was a big
That
yeah,
defense.
he was a big boy. There's some
Yeah,
big boys
yeah.
running around
I
Miami.
would-
at that
I
time.
wish Seattle could have gotten some games done with him. We had him and Sam.
It's all a combination of guys.
When you win Defensive Player of the Year, did we even? I don't see we won a game. We won like 3 games that year when Cortez won Defensive Player of the Year.
Probably around in that ballpark. Yeah. Yeah. So it was a rough
Something
time.
else, yeah.
But speaking of kids, you remember the old Miami Dolphins cornerback Patrick Surtain?
Oh yeah, Miami.
Now his son is a
Louisville.
five-star
Louisville.
recruit that's in Miami this weekend with.
So he's going to.
Well, I
Go
doubt.
Northwest, kid.
I think it's going to be LSU.
Northwest, Peterson's where the coach.
I think it's going to be LSU. They got three kids off the same high school team, American Heritage,
Yeah.
the number 2 defensive tackle in the country, and the number 1 and number 2. I mean, basically defensive backs. I
Yeah.
mean, there could be some argument. There are some other guys right at the top, but
So he's not gonna
2
fall.
of the top, 5 defensive backs in the country are at the same high school. They're all in Miami for their official visit. And Miami's
what
got
that-
one of them for sure.
What that sounds like to me is you don't know if either of them are really any good. So if they go to Miami.
No, but Patrick Surtain Jr. will be a name to know down the road.
Hey, man,
And,
Surtain was a hell of a quarterback. He was out of Louisville, right?
Southern Mississippi.
Was Southern Mississippi.
Southern Mississippi.
Who was the
No,
guy?
Sam Madison.
Sam Madison. There you go.
Another coach in South Florida for a high school team, and all those guys
Those
are getting into
my favorite
coaching.
guys. Back when Marino was there and Jimmy built that
Jason
defense
Taylor,
up, Jason
Zach
Taylor,
Thomas.
Zach
Those, Jimmy could draft. He could draft. I mean, when you draft all those guys,
He
you
didn't-
got
he didn't get
Jason
our man
Taylor in the
Marino.
third.
Oh, yeah.
Madison was a first round pick.
Madison's first.
Surtain was a second round pick.
Zach
Jason
fifth.
Taylor was a third. Zach was a fifth.
They had a third. I had a fourth one. The other third one. Well, no, the fourth one was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was
Yeah.
running back. He was
Yeah.
serviceable at running back.
Yeah, he had
wasn't-
some service. He
you know,
gave
he
him a
wasn't-
1,000-yard year when 1,000 yards was
a couple of
actually a measuring stick.
Yeah,
I mean,
and he had 1 year. He almost led the NFL in touchdowns. I think.
yeah,
He
had
kicked 1,000 yards that year.
he had a little bit, but then
not what they needed. Not enough.
then he had Cecil Collins that we drafted. Cecil, he just got out of prison here not about a year ago after he got locked up. He was with the Dolphins. Yeah, he jumped into somebody's apartment.
Who was the other guy? Who was the other LSU running back that was some Johnson kid? No, he was a Mississippi State guy. Wasn't he Mississippi?
No, the Mississippi State, the J.J. Johnson. They've got J.J. Johnson and Cecil Collins in the same draft.
Yeah.
And then Collins, I think Collins went in the 5th, and they probably said that
And the reason Collins went in the 5th is he was a head case then. All the damn time.
he wasn't even at LSU anymore. He got the rape. He had that possible rape situation was at McNeese State, and they got some trouble there and was pretty much didn't really play there. But he was one of the best high school running backs ever out of the state of Louisiana. I mean, they showed clips of him in high school, and it was just stupid. I mean, it would look like clips of Adrian Peterson in high school. I remember watching him, and so
that was kind of what started LSU was like spree of multiple just tons stacked running backs that go in the third or fourth, and they have it now going on still.
And produce at the NFL
They
level.
produce once they got there. Like
Kevin
Ware,
Falk, obviously,
all those guys.
What was the kid for Indianapolis, the Colts, that they had there for a few years? Joseph Adai.
Yeah, I don't think he was worth a first round pick, but he produced for me. He had a couple nice.
Was he a first round pick? I didn't realize he was a first round pick.
When he was a first round pick, I think the same year that because the Patriots took some kid in the first round also who didn't stack up. But I don't think it was either Edwards was drafted in the first round. That kid that blew us me out in the sandball game. Remember that? Georgia.
Robert
Edwards.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Wait, what?
That was tough for that. Lost his career in that, and that.
But wow, we got off track. But we're
Yeah.
let's bring it back around to a good school like Washington. But let's go back to the Senior Bowl, kind of wrap it up before we get to the Super Bowl coming up.
All right.
Anyone else you were interested to hear about how they did in the Senior Bowl? Because a lot lately, a lot of the kids that like the MVPs have been getting like a lot of attention on draft day.
Yeah. No, that's
especially by the Seahawks. Yeah, I think if they're MVP, Seahawks are which is good because Tyler Lockett, he's been a hell of a player for the Hawks.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to the draft and seeing
deep quarterback.
But none of them really that. It's a deep draft, but a lot of them there's a lot of question marks. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, there's always some.
You have your 3 good guys in the first round, maybe 4.
Yeah. You got your Allen, you got your Baker Mayfield, you got your Lamar Jackson, and you got your Rosen. I mean, those and Darnold and Sam Darnold. So you got those five guys are all potential first round pick. You think all 5 are going to go in the first round? You don't think one drops to the second round?
I think so. Maybe
Jackson.
Jackson drops
to the second. God, I saw somebody had him at 15 the other day in their mock.
I've seen it 12 a few times.
Yeah.
I've seen.
And that's even. I mean, that's just right after the Dolphins pick. It would be at 12. You know. So.
Well, I've seen. I mean, the Seahawks are.
I like Rosen. I think Rosen
Rosen?
out of UCLA.
I love his accuracy. I like his game on the field. His mental game. Is he another Ryan? Is he like the opposite Ryan Leaf, but Ryan Leaf? You know what I mean?
He's. I don't. From what I get, I mean, he's just a little different. He's not like a super party guy like a Manziel,
right?
But I mean, the guy had his own jacuzzi in his dorm room at UCLA.
Which that's not different, man. That's smart. That kid's cool.
Exactly. So I mean. I liked a little bit. I mean, he had some diminished returns based on some of the teams that played around him at UCLA here. More as Magic kind of wore the welcome, which he was tossed this year. Yeah. So it would have been better if he could have had some more of the guys that Hundley had. Especially, I think that they would have. They would have went further with Rosen than they would have went with Hundley. So
Hundley
that
really has. I thought Hundley's game would have came around in the pros more than it has. Like he had a full season to improve.
Yeah,
and he either stayed straight on or went down.
Well,
because he had
his opportunity this year to show what you could do, and it didn't look good.
He's got mobility, and he didn't jack.
No, it didn't look very good. Granted, Nick Foles didn't look very good the last few weeks of the year. Look where they're at now,
But Nick's done it before.
He has done it before.
In an insane way.
And I had a feeling that the Eagles would look at least better than they did those last couple of games of the year when it didn't really matter. They had it locked up.
It's locked up, and how much game plan they get? Like they don't want to give away too much.
Exactly, and people would already have the tape from Nick Foles when he had his good run there.
Crazy, like the numbers he put up that year.
And then
he was the MVP of the Pro Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean that's not saying a whole lot, but still, like no schlump has ever been the Pro Bowl MVP really.
Yeah, I mean it's always
pretty prolific passers.
Exactly.
Mark Bolger, like he actually reminds me a little of Mark Bolger.
I think that leading up to talking about the big game, I think that the Nick Foles run comes to an end. Nick Foles is not going to Disneyland.
Sorry, Nick. You had a good run, bud.
You had a good run. You've made Philly fans piss on the heads of the Vikings fans, but it's all over now.
And they took advantage of that.
And now they're not letting you into their restaurants.
That free ride, you better be buying.
To tell you the truth, Philadelphia, players, fans, would you really want to go into a restaurant in Minneapolis? Because I'd rather have them tell me I can't go than the chef's back there wiping his ass cheeks with a burger. So it's probably a good thing that those guys
those who
are
wondering. Ass cheeks right on that booger.
It's better that they're telling them just stay out of the restaurant.
Just relax, enjoy the catering.
I do not think this game will be as close as it was when McNabb and Mr. Owens was gutting it out. He was grinding.
Do you think just because of Foles?
No. I honestly think that New England obviously caught the fire, caught the magic, caught some stupidity from Atlanta last year to get back into that game and win it.
Yeah,
I don't think. I think this will be
You
one
think-
of their last Super Bowls where they actually control more of the game. Now, granted, they have never really a lot of their Super Bowl wins. They weren't. They haven't been blowout wins.
4 or 3
I mean,
points.
the win against Philadelphia was a competitive game.
Was
The win against Carolina was a competitive game. The win against St. Louis was a shocking upset. You know, the win against Seattle was Seattle being stupid and just Pete Carroll decided I'm gonna, I thought maybe he wanted to go back to USC, not giving Marshawn Lynch the ball
Right.
and just basically handing the Super Bowl to
Yeah.
the Falcons, handing the Super Bowl to the Patriots. I actually think
That's been the last 2 Super Bowls, hasn't it? That's been the last. So honestly, the Patriots actually had. They weren't the underdog this last year, but the Seahawks won. They were the underdog.
Yeah, they would have been a slight underdog.
It was a small.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't like their defense as much. I don't like their linebackers at all.
No. I mean, their defense it can be exploited. There's yards to gain
I
there.
like their cornerbacks.
Yeah.
But the tight end for Philly played. What's his? Not Eifert. What's his name? Is it Eifert? No. The kid out of
Ertz.
Zach
Another
Ertz. E name.
Yeah.
He played insane last game. He was catching everything. Like Foles was throwing stuff back here. He was doing backflips to catch it.
He's had a solid year, and he's.
I wonder if it continues on. If he's that's taking your game to another level.
Yeah.
That's what you need if you're going to beat a team like the Patriots.
Yeah.
They have their running game. I like more than the Patriots.
Yeah.
And which the Jags? What did the Jags not do? Those idiots. What did feed the monster you have back there? You're supposed to have.
Fournette, and Fournette has been a beast. I mean, had a great year.
There's a few things about that game also we discussed about some funny calls, but
yeah,
but Philly has 2 backs.
I think the Jags defense though was even on a lot more of a level than Philadelphia's. I
think. Yes and no. I like Jags defense overall. They had speed on every level.
Yeah. Speed at back in that defensive backfield, and then the potential to rush the passer with the defensive line.
Front four.
Yeah.
I like Philly's front four because
they have
good because they have the boys on the edge.
Yeah.
And then they have
big old Fletcher Cox in the middle. But I just don't see those guys getting when they've been beaten. It was a really good defensive line.
How did the Giants beat them this year? The Giants warm out with that fast offense.
Yeah.
What the Patriots going to want? Same thing.
Yeah.
Patriots want to push 100 plays a game.
Yeah.
They get 90 last year, and they wore Atlanta's D outs.
Yeah.
Philly I think has more depth on D line also.
Yeah.
I don't like Philly's linebackers. I like their speed. I don't like their tackle ability. They miss more tackles.
Yeah.
That Michael Kendrick out of Cal, great athlete, not the best linebacker.
Yeah, at least tackle it at this point. I mean, tackle it in space, which the Patriots are kind of going to get you out into space and isolate.
They're going to exploit. Yeah, exploit it.
What about Gronk? I mean, I could see him coming back and making a play.
You never know. Gronk could just dominate from go to end, or he could get his ass knocked out of the game again.
Yeah,
because Gronk, that's just Gronk.
Yeah, I think he'll make a play here, there, and I have a feeling that.
Do you think the rest
Philly's going to turn the ball over? I see.
Yeah,
I see.
That's one thing that Philly cannot have 2 turnovers.
No.
If they have 2 turnovers, you're right. If they have 2 turnovers, that's what's your call? What do you?
They're 31-17 New England.
2 turnovers, absolutely. If they have 1 turnover, I'd say because I'm not putting no damn money on this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 24-20 Philly.
Okay. Yeah.
That's 1 turnover. Usually I'd say no, but let's have fun.
You got somebody's got to go against Tom Brady. So,
and the last two they've won. You can argue that they should. They can argue they're lucky.
Yeah.
And they took advantage of it, which is what they do.
They take advantage of your mistakes.
screw-ups,
And even teams that have had good game plans and went in with good game plans couldn't maintain that
it.
throughout the whole
Because
level
of
of the
the
game
turnover or
because of
something.
that. I thought the Eagles, the first time they played him, they did a great job with some of their matchups with McNabb. Getting the ball out to his playmakers and everything, and in the end, it was Tom Brady willing his team to victory. And that's.
Well, I think Philly's defense. Shoot, I don't remember if they had back then. It would come to me eventually, but their defense. I like their defense this year more.
Yeah,
their defense is pretty solid.
And that,
I like their defensive backfield. I like and their D-line we already talked about.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Everyone's sick of the Patriots getting there, and
What's that Ohio State? Is that who's their safety? What's Philly's safety? One who plays really ball lately. He's been in the league for a bit now. He's at Ohio State, right?
I can't think of who their safety is now.
Anyway, I'm gonna call it. If their big time safety has a pick, we're good. I think Philly's good.
They're going to get to Tom and
I
fluster him and get the pick from
get the
him.
pick.
I'm just going to say, being a Dolphins fan, and I've had a pretty good pulse on at least
Well,
gambling.
maybe if you missed Ray, if you missed this one, would you trade missing this one a little bit of cachet for the Dolphins starting up next year?
For the Dolphins to
moving
draft an
forward.
offensive lineman that can actually block somebody,
We talked about it.
and that,
For the Dolphins to move forward. This is for the Dolphins starting off next year.
for the Dolphins to get a quarterback, maybe they draft Lamar Jackson and
a new Dolphins era.
I would definitely give that up for that. So, well, I think we just got to wait until Brady retires, and then we'll see if Belichick wants to stick around or if he's got his new guy in there, and they keep going. But I just think that for some reason I just see the Patriots a little bit more of a dominant Super Bowl win than they've ever had.
Right.
I think the odds of that happening start getting greater and greater with as many Super Bowls as they've been in. When you look at all their Super Bowls, like I said, there hasn't been that dominating win.
No, there hasn't been. Not once.
And it's going to happen.
Because when you're the lesser team, really, the only reason you get put ahead of people is because you have Brady and Belichick. And so when you're a lesser team and you cheat just to keep yourself in the game.
Plus, they have the best deflate people and the best technology people known to mind.
I mean, they might be talking to those NASA boys to hit into that satellite up there, but
exactly.
But
so that's
jokes aside.
That's
mean,
what I think is going to happen.
They are due, and if there is a game, they're going to blow somebody out. Why not do against the backup quarterback?
Yeah. Who's I know Pink does is doing the Star Spangled Banner.
Pink is.
Yeah, I believe that's.
I don't know.
I believe that's who it is.
I
thought I heard that she's
happened,
sick.
so,
She's
yeah.
actually has
Is
the
it just-
flu. And is it Timberlake that's doing the halftime?
Yeah.
So
Well,
maybe Janet Jackson will come out with Justin Timberlake, and we'll have a repeat of the Carolina New England
I was going to say,
Super Bowl.
Close to the Philly one.
And that was a close game too.
Janet's a little older now too. I don't know if I would want to see that.
No, I'd probably not. Maybe. I mean, I think she'd still probably be all right. But there's probably some more people I'd rather see. But I still think she'd be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens, and we'll see how entertaining it is. But I think you're going to see Tom smiling again at the end, and Giselle not complaining.
Yeah, he does. They've had a hell of a run. Hopefully the bastard retires. I'm joking. He's probably out for at least another year.
Well, if they're in that ESPN, if you believe some of that with his trainer, he's talking about playing for a few more years.
Every person who interviews him on, down there at the Super Bowl, says, "Why everyone's like, I'm feeling great. I'm doing this."
Well, he kind of had the. Not really, it wasn't torn Achilles, but there was an Achilles thing right at the end of the regular season for Brady. One of those where he was a little bit banged up and stuff. I believe. Yeah, with the Woodhead, I guess Woodhead hit him.
Good boy, good Nebraska boy.
Nebraska
right
boy trying to, because
Yeah.
most Nebraska fans are not New England Patriots
No.
fans.
Nope, so that's
You know
good for
that.
them. Good job.
I'm sure there's got to be a few.
Way to keep
but
your job and try to take your quarterback out.
Yeah. So we'll see. It should be entertaining.
You know,
though.
it should be. It should be a good game. So, all right. Well, let's wrap it up. Saying because I think that's more or less everything we had on the agenda. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been talking for a bit, and we could talk forever because we love sports. We like to talk.
Exactly.
We're blowhards. But this has been two guys, two sports dudes just talking. We don't have a name for the show yet, but we're gonna work on that.
And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Have a good night.